Matthew 16, his disciples, that they were going to see the Son of God coming in his kingdom. This was all going to happen within the lifetimes of some of the people standing there.
Okay, well then, let's take a look at that scripture, and see what they actually mean. This is Matthew 16:28, the verse he was referring to. Okay? We are going to examine this scripture and see what it really means. Assuredly, I say to you, there are some standing here who shall not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. I can see the misunderstanding if you look at it at face value. But let's take a deeper look. Look at the heading of that verse, Jesus transfigured on the mount. Now we are going to look at the Greek words for coming and kingdom, starting with coming. This is the Greek word that was translated as coming in that verse, okay? So, let's read it. To come, of persons, to come from one place to another, used of both persons arriving and of those returning. To appear, make one's appearance, come before the public. Metaphorically, to come into being, arise, come forth, show itself, find place or influence, be established, become known, to come far into or onto, to go, follow one. This is the Greek word for kingdom. Let's look at the definition, shall we? Royal power, kingship, dominion, rule, not to be confused with an actual kingdom, but rather the right or authority to rule over a kingdom. Of the royal power of Jesus as the triumphant Messiah, of the royal power and dignity conferred as Christians in the Messiah's kingdom, a kingdom, the territory subject to the rule of a king, used in the New Testament to refer to the reign of the Messiah. So this right here means that this might not necessarily be referring to the second coming of Jesus. Okay? In fact, the answer is at the beginning of the next chapter, the first, 8 verses, I believe, that we are going to look at. Matthew 17, verses 1 through 8. Now, after 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John his brother, led them up on a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. And beheld Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and suddenly a voice came out of the cloud, saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. And then the disciples heard it, and fell on their faces, and were greatly afraid. But Jesus came and touched them, and said to them, Arise, and do not be afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Jesus only. That voice pretty much confirmed Jesus as the Messiah, as the Son of God. To the disciples, he has been verified. Okay? So the disciples now know of Jesus' authority over the people who saw the Transfiguration. Okay? They now know for a fact that Jesus is the Son of God. Okay? They now know for a fact that about Jesus' authority and his kingdom. Okay? Okay, so that was not talking about the second coming. Okay? That was talking about their experience on Mount Transfiguration. Okay? At face value, I can see the misunderstanding. That's why you have to take a deeper look at the original Greek word in the New Testament and Hebrew word in the Old Testament. Because face value might look like it says one thing, but a deeper look might reveal the deeper meaning that got lost in translation. Okay? I don't know why atheists seem to forget that the Bible was translated from Hebrew and Greek, and that you have to look at the original Hebrew and Greek word that was used to get a deeper meaning. Okay? Well, anyways, that's it for this video. Bye.